So, Liverpool have lost 3-1 away to Chelsea in a game that doesn't really mean much, if we're being completely honest. Won the league last week, 4 games left before today, and it was a case of just get through the games. That's what most people said. Get through the games and get ready for the party at the end of the season. But as much as the game didn't mean much, we never want to lose. So I hope you're there with me, feeling some sort of frustration in that we've lost the game 3-1 and the way we've lost it. Not too pleased with the lineup that Slot put out. But before I go back into that, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to hit the notification button. I still can't say notification button. I'll get there in the end. Someday I'll get there. But yeah, that's what's happened today. We've lost the game 3-1, as I've said already. But when I saw the lineup, I wasn't confident. I want to win every single game, just like you guys. So you sit there and you think to yourself, okay, cool. You've heard the interview, the pre-match press conference, and he said he's going to make a lot of changes. And you're thinking, okay, cool. He's going to make changes. This is a lot. He's going to make changes. So I was like, okay, cool. He makes some changes, maybe brings 1 or 2 players in. But there was no way I thought he would make the 4 changes that he'd make. I didn't expect Konate not to play, if I'm honest with you. I didn't expect Gravenberch, maybe he's got an injury, not to be in the squad at all. I didn't expect McAllister not to play, I'll be honest. I thought, yeah, maybe Szoboszlai gets benched and Elliott comes in, and that's the one change. And okay, maybe you put a Chiesa. To be honest, I knew he was never starting Chiesa. Let me not say that bit. Maybe Chiesa comes on later, and a Jones starts or an Endo starts instead. But I didn't expect all 4 of them. I didn't expect a midfield of Elliott, Endo, and Jones. And like I said, when I saw that midfield, I was like, we're not winning today. Does it really matter that we lost? No, because we won the league. But does it feel horrible that we lost? Yeah, because I hate losing. And it's almost it's silly, but it's almost worse when someone gives you a guard of honor, and you know it's burning them to give you the guard of honor. And what do they want at the end of it? They want to beat you. They want to give you the guard of honor and then send you packing. And in the end, they gave us a guard of honor and they sent us packing. So it's a tough game to analyze because Javier said it himself. They enjoyed winning the league for a good few days afterwards. Definitely, Slot already said they had Monday and Tuesday off. So Wednesday, they wouldn't have been at full speed. Thursday, would they be at full speed? Who knows? And the edge gets taken off when you have nothing to play for. The edge gets taken off. We're looking at this team, and yes, you could argue, well, the likes of Endo and Elliott and Quansah are playing for places to be in the squad next season. They're playing for places to not be sold. Jota is potentially playing for places to not be sold, and Tsimikas is playing for a place to be a choice between him and Robertson and who he leaves. Yeah. So having said that, looking at the team that Slot has put out, it wasn't the strongest team to go out and win it, but it was never going to be the strongest team. So fair play to Slot. I guess he wants to give our guys minutes. He wants to see what they can produce. But like I just said, that midfield was not one that I believed would be able to handle a midfield that Chelsea would put out. I'll keep saying it. Game in the end didn't really matter. The only person that had something really, really right on it was Salah. Salah needs to get the 3 assists to overtake Kevin De Bruyne and Thierry Henry's record. Now he's got 3 games to get it in. It's looking more and more unlikely because in this game, when you look at the stats, we weren't even creating any chances. And if we're going to continue playing teams like that, first half stats, we had a lot of the ball, 66% possession. For expected goals, they had 34% possession, but expected goals, as you can see, of 1.00. We had expected goals of 0.33. Not good enough. They had 7 shots in total. We had 4. Both had 1 shot each. They scored theirs. We didn't. They had a big chance as well, and they didn't miss it. They took it. We didn't have any big chances at first half. But overall, we had a lot of the ball. but we didn't do much with it. I don't know. Slot had this thing where he kept saying through after we played Chelsea that they were better than us that day and that we won the game, but they were better than us. And I don't know, maybe he wanted to be the better team in terms of more possession, because that's something he kept saying at the time. They had more possession, etc., etc. And we had more possession in that, but we didn't do anything with it. Hardly anything with it, and it just wasn't the right flow that we normally have. So, like I said, it can happen. The guys don't have the jeopardy. They're not pushing as hard as they can. But yeah, this is not going to be a long recording, if I'm being completely honest. It's going to be quite quick because we lost the game. Wasn't a really great game for us to watch. Decent football, but not if you're a Liverpool fan. Just happy that we've won a league and that the games will count down. Obviously, we've got Arsenal next. Expect a lot better performance than that game, and in honesty, expect a stronger team put out. But as I always do, I'll move on to the play ratings. Starting with Alisson in goal. If I'm being honest, there's not much he could have done about any of the goals. Can't really complain or can't really blame him for anything. So he gets a 6. Some good saves that he made, if I'm being pretty honest. Accurate passes, 89%. 47 out of 53 passes. He's made 5 saves, but he's conceded 3 goals. One of them was a penalty, so again, not much you can do about that. And expected goals faced was 3.404, and prevented, he saved us a certain goal. Prevented was 1.04. So he didn't have a bad game. We just didn't play well and give him the opportunity to save goals that he faced. Move on to Trent in right back. Played 57 minutes. Wasn't his best game, me being completely honest. I look at the duels. He won 1 duel, lost 2 duels. So ground duels in total, 1 out of 3, not great. Tackles, didn't make a tackle, so it was 0%. And when I look at his touches, 59 touches. So not great performance from him, and no chances created, which is what you normally expect from Trent. So it wasn't a factor in today's game. I've given him a 4. Quansah, I feel sorry for Quansah. He wasn't having a terrible game, but he walks out of the game with an own goal, which was hit against him. Not much you can do about that. And then conceding a penalty where you would say, you know what? Just don't make the challenge. But it was a stupid pass from Szoboszlai, who should know better. Like, just don't pass him the ball there. But at the same time, you're a professional football player and you're playing in the Premier League and you've played more than 2 games. So at this point, you don't dive in there. So unfortunately for him, conceding a goal, giving away a penalty, well, scoring an own goal, giving away a penalty, he gets a 3. It sounds harsh because I don't think outside of that, his game was that bad. There's some good runs, there's good passes, but again, there was a couple of times where he tried to dribble out possession and it didn't work. And there's a couple of times where he tried to pass and the pass was too heavy. So yeah, he gets a 3 for me. Not really a good game for him. And there's a big decision to make over him in the summer. What's going to happen, whether he goes out on loan and gets to make the mistakes elsewhere and gets to get the constant football so he can improve. Because the football in there, footballer in there, but it's just whether it's going to be for Liverpool. I'll move on to Van Dijk. I thought Van Dijk was all right today. I've given him a 7. Completed the most passes, 89 in the match. We conceded 3 goals, and I say we've given him a 7. But again, the penalty, nothing to do. In terms of his normal stats, duels won. He didn't win a duel today. He didn't win a ground duel today. Only won an aerial duel. So again, that wasn't great from him, but it wasn't a horrible performance from him. He led the line well amongst players that weren't performing up to standard, but in fact, he's getting 6.5. 6.5. Change my mind. I had written down here 7 with all those things, but I'm listening and I'm watching the game and I'm thinking, no, he didn't do enough to be given a 7. Tsimikas, he gets a 6. It wasn't great. Although he created the most chances in the game, it just wasn't a good defensive performance on a whole. We had a lot of the ball, but we were very vulnerable on the counter attack. And Madueke gave him a tough time. I'll be honest, gave him a very tough time today. So he's getting a 6. Elliot, this was your chance, Elliot. It's your chance to step up and to show that, you need to be starting games. Admittedly, he's not starting with the greatest midfield, but at the same time, he's starting with Salah in front of him, which he's used to, and Trent behind him, which he's used to. So he should have done better. I've given him a 5.5. No shots on goal, no chances created. Just not a good enough performance. No shots on target, sorry. Out of his 2. Just not good enough today. Both of them were blocked. And 36 touches for someone who wants to be our number 10. He needs to do better. I move on to Endo. Endo was busy. I was a bit critical on him on his passing. But in the end, it's because he looks so rushed and because he looks like he doesn't know what he's doing before he gets the ball. When he gets the ball, doesn't have a picture, that you sometimes think he looks really poor on the ball. But I look at his accurate passing stats, 56 passes out of 60, 93%. So he wasn't wasteful at all. You look at his touches, 67%, and tackles, 2 out of 3 won. So can't really complain. Ground duels, 4 out of 5 won. So you look at that, and he's had a decent game. So I've given him a 7. Did his job, but it wasn't good enough because the players around him weren't good enough. Moving on to Jones. Jones get a 6. He was just very sloppy. Lost the most duels today, 7. Always seemed to dwell on the ball too much. With him, he's never going to lose the ball. So he gets 94%, 83 out of 88. And it's like, come on. That's what he's good at. But at some point, it's going to be like, you need to do more than that. Has a lot of touches, 106 touches. But he just needs to have a better impact on the game, a more positive impact on the game. So dispossessed 3 times as well. So wasn't the greatest. But 100% tackle rate. I move on to Gakpo. Played the whole game. Said he's taken him off quite a few times, so he wanted to give him a full run out. To be honest, first half, he was our only threat. He was busy. He was getting crosses in. He was beating Caicedo, battling with Caicedo, and he was doing okay. One shot on target, 100% dribble rate, 1 out of 1. So I gave him 6.5 as well. Obviously, we didn't get the goal from him or anything like that, but he wasn't horrible. So he gets that score. I'll move on to Salah. Not his day today, for me, to be honest. Was a lot better in the second half. First half wasn't great. Touches wise, 45 touches in the game. So, yeah, there's not much I can say. He wasn't great today. I'm giving him a 6.5 as well. Jota, 5.5. Doesn't really get in the game. Can't really say I saw him much. There's a lot of questions to be asked over him in the summer, whether we keep him or whether we let him go. But yeah, I'll move on to the subs. Conor Bradley comes on. I thought he was really good, actually. I've actually given him 7.5. He comes on. He's busy, gets some crosses on. There's one where I moaned because he makes a great run, beats the defender, and then just a simple pass, just lay it back, and I think Gakpo gets a free shot on goal and possibly scores. So he doesn't get the pass right. So he comes on 57 minutes, but it was a positive introduction for him. I'm happy with him. Darwin Núñez comes on at the same time. Sloppy. He has a header which goes wide, which I think they said it might have been offside, but it's just what you expect from Darwin Núñez. Unfortunately, he gets a 6. He didn't do anything really bad where you can cuss him or really talk bad about him, but it just wasn't good enough in general. And his time is slowly coming to an end. And we move on from him. He gets a 6. Alexis McAllister comes on, does a good job, gets an assist. He's busy in midfield. Look at the duels. As always, he's never great in duels. Wins 1 out of 4. But he gets a 6 as well. But he gets an assist from the corner. So I give him that. So Bosley comes on, and you actually see that we need his running power. He comes on with McAllister, and to be honest, when they both came on, we looked a lot better. But he gets a 6 as well. He makes a silly mistake that leads to the third goal. And it just wasn't a good performance in all. Chiesa finally comes on. Yay! Chiesa gets his 5th appearance, so he's guaranteed a winner's medal. Cool with that, but no impact. No impact whatsoever. A lot of the other sites didn't even give him a score. He comes at 82 minutes. I've given him a 5. I wanted to see more. I've been asking for him to give him minutes, and I was hoping that enthusiasm would let him come on. But at the same time, he comes on, we take off a left back, so the system is completely out of whack. But I would have liked more from him. He gets a 5. But yeah, that's it this week. Like I said, it's a game that didn't really matter. We lost. Does anyone really care? Probably not. Are you frustrated at losing games? Yes. But in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't make a difference to what's going on. If anything, it helps keep the battle for the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th more interesting. So, I want to win next game against Arsenal, and I expect a much better performance. So, guys, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share, and hit that notification button. Thanks for watching. Peace out.